Jim Harbaugh. I've talked about this before, but John, he's the Chargers head coach. We all hopefully know that. What he's done in his career and what he's doing right now ties right back to what he started with at the University of Michigan. He was a quarterback at Michigan. I was a linebacker at Minnesota. We're exactly the same age. Played against each other for 4 of the 5 years we were there, right? I mean, I always disliked him because he was the opponent. He's the Michigan quarterback. Of course, I'm going to hate the guy's guts and I want to take his head off. But all of that, how about this, John? So his first coaching thing that he decided to jump onto was University of San Diego. He took over the team. They weren't all that good. He goes 7-4, then he goes 11-1 and 11-1. He goes to Stanford. He's 2010. He 12 wins at Stanford, John. That doesn't happen very often. And here he is.
Never.
He just basically had been there a very short period of time, and he goes 12-1. And then he goes to the 49ers. All he does is go 13-3. He had a record of 44-19. I'd say that's pretty damn good. Then he goes to Michigan. He's 86-25 at Michigan. Goes 12-0 for the national title, right? I mean, I'll tell you what, everything you see, what he's done. How did he do at the Chargers? Well, they fired their coach, which means they probably weren't doing very well. He gets hired. All they did is go 11-6. I mean, everything the guy has done and everywhere he's been. And this year, I bet you people don't think much of the Chargers right now, but they should. And here's why I say that. He is building what he has done in the past, and he's doing it with the Chargers. He just had a signing just this weekend, John, and he brought in Tyler Conklin, another tight end. Sounds a little like Michigan, right? Because they like to put 3 and 4 tight ends on the football field. Bo Schembechler did that. Who was coach when Jim was there? Bo Schembechler. So everywhere he's gone, he's done that same thing. And I'll tell you what, John, you know who they signed? Najee Harris, the big kid from Pittsburgh, who all he's done is he's played every game he's been since he's been a pro. I think it's his 4th or 5th year. He's 27 years old, 6'1", 240 pounds. Sounds like a running back up in Philadelphia to me. Got a lot of speed, got a hell of a lot of size, 240 pounds. When you got 225-pound linebackers in the NFL and you have a 240-pound running back coming at him with Joe Alt at one side and another massive tackle on the other side and sprinkle in a few more tight ends out there, I got a feeling that they might have a better record than last year. And, here's something I'll just throw out to you. As a quarterback, Jim Harbaugh was. Herbert, we never talked much about him last year, John. How about this? I know, and including me, he had 23 touchdowns. That's not a lot because they're running the football, right? 23 touchdowns passing. You know how many interceptions he had? 3.
Damn.
3. This is a guy throwing the ball a fair amount, but less because he's, they're running the ball. He has 3 interceptions, 66% completion. I'll tell you what, he will be a happy camper if, the running game works the way it will with this running back that they've got. This is going to be a team that I would say right now, and I should have done it when you and I were out in Vegas, John, we maybe should have dropped something down on the Chargers to see about the possibility of maybe a Super Bowl run. Because I'll tell you what, I know Baltimore's great. I know Buffalo's great, Kansas City, all the rest of them. The Chargers have a shot with what they're doing in the offseason, and they've got every single draft pick that they can have, they have, and they've made trades to have even more. They are going to be a really interesting team in the AFC, I think.
Well, Pete, they added a big offensive lineman, to your point, Andre James. He's from your Raiders, so I'm sure Pete Carroll's going to miss him, but, that's the way it goes with free agency. He's a young guy, too, Pete. He's only 27 years old. Big beast. Start at UCLA, 89 games of experience. So this is a big-time stud, I think, a great signing. Yeah. Deshaun Phillips, they got him from the Texans, I think, Pete. This is a good kid. He's a 28-year-old linebacker. He likes to hit, sort of like that guy Weeks. He likes to hit, good acceleration. And, for some backup quarterback, they get Tyler Henke. I'm not saying he's going to beat out Justin Herbert. Nobody is on that team, Pete. But it's good to have a solid backup, and now they have that, which they may not have had in the past, Pete. And then Deshaun Hand, this is another guy that, if you can get a guy like this for the defensive line, I like it. And even though they had to, they had some issues that they had to address on the cap side so that they couldn't sign some of the players they wanted to retain. I think getting some of these players in those key roles is going to make them exactly what you said.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the Bosa brothers, to your point, is why they had to get rid of him. It just from a cost standpoint, he's getting older. He's still a great football player. We all know that. But, sometimes you got to have, the room on there to bring in the guys that you think are going to make the difference to get you to that next level. And I think that's what they're doing there. John, as far as, by the way, we almost had Pete Carroll at the daggone 10X. Unfortunately, I gave him a call because I played for him when he was at the Vikings. And I said, hey, any chance you could come over here and maybe speak to the guys at the 10X Rebellion thing or whatever? And he said, I'd love to, but I'm on a plane right now. I wonder if that was commercial or private. But anyway, he's on a plane right now. He says, I won't be back till Sunday, but I could come over Sunday. I said, well, it's a Saturday deal, so it's not going to work out. But that would have been fun, wouldn't it? I mean, to have Pete Carroll kind of to come on by and kind of kick around a few things and all. Pete's a wonderful guy and a hell of a coach. All right, John. Next up. Yep. We are sitting here in March Madness, right? Mm-hmm. By the way, it was a little bit quiet, I thought, in some of the casinos, quite frankly. And I think when I talked to people, one of the excuses they gave me was, look, this has become such a big deal with betting online that you lose a lot of the people that normally would be going to Vegas to have a great time and do this. And if they're trying to hold on to a little bit more money, John, maybe they just avoid the hotel and the flight and everything else, and they do it from home. So I did notice it felt a little bit lighter, I thought, in Vegas than I would have expected. But one thing's for sure, these guys that do these brackets and the people that actually select the teams, here's what I was looking at. You've got Duke number one. They haven't even shown any signs of anybody getting close to them right now, John. They won 93-49 against St. Mary's, 89-66 against a really good Baylor team. Then you've got Auburn. They look pretty damn good. Then you've got Florida. They look pretty great. I wouldn't be shocked at all if when it's all done. By the way, Houston is another one. I mean, I think they got all the number ones exactly right. That doesn't oftentimes happen. But I think this time they got the right teams in the right spot. And it would probably be a miracle, but it would be pretty interesting if you got ones against ones in the semis before you get to the finals. That would be pretty damn cool because it would be great to see if they could get there. I'll tell you what, Houston did get a little scared from Gonzaga. Gonzaga is just one of those teams that always seems to be somewhere in that tournament. And they might not win it, probably aren't going to win it, but they're one of those teams that sort of gets that good fight and they hang around and hang around and hang around. Houston actually got rid of them, which was pretty good for Houston because they needed to do that. But isn't it amazing how they got this so right already where we are right now, where you've got 4 number ones still standing?
Yeah. I mean, I love the underdogs and I like some of the favorites. I mean, Pete and I last week, we had St. John's. They were a 18-point favorite and they crushed University of Nebraska Omaha by a lot more than 18 points. So we're not just patting ourselves on the back. We're saying, some of these games are better than just picking underdogs against the number one. Every once in a while, one gets knocked off. And of course, even though St. John's played great against UNO, not really quite the same team showed up for the Arkansas Razorbacks, Pete. But luckily, we didn't have that one. But I noted this, Pete, 3.7 million people come to Vegas. They came last year for March Madness, but remember, it gets heavier and heavier as you get into the Elite Eight, Final Four, and all that stuff. So look for next week to be much heavier traffic in Vegas. That's my prediction.
Yep.
And I'll throw you out one, Pete, one more bet for you guys, those of you who want. I'm going to take the Lakers over the Magic tonight. And I know it's at the Magic and it's a 3 or 3.5 point game and they're on the road, but I'm still saying that it's not my bet on LeBron. It's my bet on the kid from Dallas. Yeah. And I think he fills it up down there in Orlando, Pete. So I'm going to give the 3 or 3.5.
I totally agree with you. I really like that pick as well. I know we kicked around some other names out there, Timberwolves in Indiana, and that's a tough one. Indiana and the Timberwolves are almost identical looking teams in a lot of different ways. Yeah. Although Anthony Edwards is still one of my favorite players, I think, within the NBA right now. He's unbelievable. I like that bet, though, the bet you had. I think that makes a lot of sense. I like LA. He has made such a difference in who that team is now that I know we all know it's still LeBron's team, whether we like him or not or whatever. It's still his team. He's still the leader. He's all those things. But I'll tell you what, they don't really necessarily always even need him.
Right.
Because there's a new sheriff in town, and that new sheriff is playing pretty damn good. I mean, some of those no-look passes that he does, and he's already doing it right now, pretty unbelievable, John. And I think as good as the Magic may be, I think the Lakers actually probably have a good opportunity to put that thing more than 3 points, more than 4. I'm going to say this: they might beat them by 10. So I like the Lakers a lot.